What is up, Maniacs? Welcome back to Sound and Pound. It is February 5th, Tuesday, 2024. I always forget to put the day first. It sounds weird that way, but here we are. We are your hosts, Drake Riggs and Alex Behunin from MMA Mania, bringing you the latest and greatest in wackiness from across the world of mixed martial arts every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. My goodness, it is finally our UFC 299 and 2024 Oscars special, Alex. A lot to preview, a lot to get into. Boy, even though I'm not feeling 100%, I am very excited to get into all the goods in the entertainment world, sporting and otherwise today. A lot to talk about. And we won't be doing the usual lineup of things today, you guys, because of that. So feel free to get in your comments and kind of direct us what you want to talk about with 299 specifically. Get in your Oscar picks, too, as we will be making predictions for most of the categories. We'll go through that quickly at the end. Give our top 10s of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture and review Poor Things, as that was the last movie that we got to. Wrapping things up. And then, of course, predictions for UFC 299 and all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we are live. All that good stuff. MMA Mania on all platforms. Alex, are you as excited as I am to get into this stuff?
Oh, absolutely, bro. It's 299 fight week. It's Oscar predictions. It's you also said it was February 5th, so I know that you're not 100%.
Yeah.
So, so you're still a month back, but it is what it
I'm
is.
all over. See, that's why I got you here, to keep me in place. Someone would have mentioned it if I didn't. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as we get rolling here, you guys, we will touch a little bit, though, on what happened this past week. Just real quick, UFC Vegas 87 was a thing, Alex. You were there for it. Honestly, I thought the card wasn't too bad until, like, the last two fights. Those were some stinkers, but overall, how do we feel about it? Biggest takeaways, I guess. Let's give highlights to the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shit card on paper. And it ended up being like, oh man, this was like really cool. And then it kind of just like petered out. Man and Co-Main was just like, he just kind of ruined it. But I mean, I think just the three big things, right? Vinicius Oliveira's not flying knee knockouts probably going to be it's going to be on a lot of lists in December. Steve Erceg continues to just light up the flyweight division. Fucking Astro Boy. I mean, I can't wait for the Astro Boy versus Star Boy matchup. That's eventually going to happen at some point. And then the last thing is just, I don't think Mokaev's performance earned him a title shot. And I think if they were to give him Pantoja, it would be a very big mistake, but because I think Pantoja would fucking beat him bad. It wouldn't be competitive. And then it would just kind of like, he's so young, so like a loss wouldn't wouldn't be bad, but it's like, would you want to kill his momentum this early?
Yeah, I know. I saw arguments of that. Somebody said to me on Twitter when I said pretty much the same thing, like, it's too soon. After that performance, all these things. I mean, I've never been super high on the guy, like believing he's going to be a future champ just yet. I know a lot of people felt that way before, like he was even in the UFC, which is always pretty nuts at that stage of your career. But what was being argued to me was like, well, it makes a great redemption story arc. You know, if he goes out there, loses title fight next at 301, then you have the story to build to the rematch. It's like, have you not seen the fucking flyweight division? That's all it is. That's all it is, man. If you can prevent that for a while, let's do it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely wild what is transpired with flyweight. We'll see how that all works out. He probably would. If you had to bet, would you think he's still getting it?
I think it's either Mokaev or I think it's Manel Kopp. And I think the only reason why they do Manel Kopp is because at least he would talk so much shit that the Brazilian people would literally want to murder the guy. So I mean, at least it would bring heat to the card. I think that's so I think it's between those two. They're not going to run back Royval, and no one else makes sense. So it's between those two.
We'll pray to the MMA gods for Stevie Erceg. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun,
bro. Bro. I am.
That guy's growing on me a lot.
Yeah, bro. He's the man. Although I still want the MMA guys to give us Gooch, but
Yeah, that's perfect world, but I've ruined that for everybody. Sorry guys, I got a lot of shit for that this week. Hey,
yeah,
facts are facts,
yeah,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Yeah. So Synchro is here. Good to see you, sir. Says I talked about this on Chris Presnell's show, but the real maniacal moment is John Anik saying that Umar is the most avoided fighter, but he's the one pulling out of all his fights. So not technically true there, Synchro. Pulled out of the last one. Why are people believing the nonsense that Umar is ducked when he is not, since fighters are signing to fight him? So yeah, I did touch on that briefly too afterward. It's funny for him, or that narrative, to be a thing when he did pull out of the Sandhagen fight, but that's like the only one, right? Like that was the big one. So I think overblown it a bit there, Synchro, and he's not the most avoided, but he has been avoided. I guess still technically would be, but yes, it is funny considering how the Sandhagen fight played out. Had the main event in his hands and he dipped on that one. But yeah. Rain says, I only hope this pun is as holy as the Pope for synchro takedowns, or no hassle is your left-hand Vassell. Doesn't quite work. Now for the real question. Did you watch the Fight Pass Invitational? Rule said good. Alex was there. Give us your thoughts on that real quick.
Man, it was a fucking banger show, bro. It was fantastic. A lot of finishes, some fantastic grappling matches as well. Yeah, highly recommended it if you like the old BJJ.
Oh, yes. Cannot go wrong with some of that. They're doing it right at the Fight Pass Invitational, I think. So look forward to more of that. Ghost says, my maniacal moment has to be the weirdo that bought Bloody Elbow and removed all the good writers and information about the antitrust lawsuit. Just dreadful, not positive, but definitely maniacal. Yeah, we talked about that right before going on air. It is a pretty dark day for MMA media, all things considered. Thankfully, it looks like people are recovering still a lot of that stuff through like the Wayback Machine and kind of the archive websites that are out there. But not to go too much into that, yeah, it's like what I said to Alex before we went on was, if you're gonna go in a different direction with the website, at least leave the fucking that stuff on there. Like, there's no need to get rid of it unless you have some ulterior motives or whatnot. I'm not, hey, just playing conspiracy theorist in that regard. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a dark day. I mean, I think we can all say now that MMA journalism is basically dead. It is 1000% in the grave. Um,
the limping.
but yeah. But also, like, I totally agree. Like, the stories are already written. Just leave them there. Also, like, if this new media company is going to try and think that the UFC is going to credential Bloody Elbow because they don't have the old stories
Yeah.
on, good luck, pal.
Yeah. Dana holds grudges. So, yeah. Jin is here. What is up? Says, can we shout out the Saudis for kicking this horrendous card back to the apex? Everyone talks about the sports washing the Saudis take, but I'm happy ignoring that if they have standards. That is a hilarious comment, Jin. But I guess in this case, it's hard not to agree. Morals aside. Jimmy is here, says, all the boys here and Ghost know that I love Kyoji Horiguchi. We all do. So what do you think of Charles' energy? Don't get me started, please. I literally DM'd Alex about this yesterday as I was about ready to lose my mind.
Yeah, bro. Charles, like, all loves Charles Johnson. He's my boy. Love that guy. I mean, bro was
On one.
he's smoking some good weed or something, because that dude was delusional yesterday. I mean, he was even saying that his resume was better
Man.
than Gucci's, than fucking Gucci's
Oh,
resume. Like, I mean,
it's
brother,
objectively not true.
that's that's false. I mean, yeah,
Oh.
and Charles, you fought some very good guys, but brother, come on, dog.
And I'll
No,
leave it at that because I don't think anything more needs to be said. But yeah, Jimmy says Kyoji top 3 flyweights of all time. I mean, a lot of his best success ended up being at bantamweight, but he's still, when it comes to those two divisions, he's definitely one of the better we've seen in a long time, Jimmy. And right now he's easily top 3. You could argue he's number 1 even. I think personally I have him probably at 2 on my rankings, but yeah, it's my God. I can't believe what I saw yesterday. I really can't. Synchro clarifying says that Tapology says he pulled out a 5 fights due to injury. Umar, that is okay. Well, I'll concede if that is true. I have blanked on it, but Yeah, biggest one was obviously Sanhagen one. Does that sound right, Alex? I mean, I'll trust Tapology for sure if it's got the record there.
I
But
know that he was matched up against Jack Shore, and he pulled out of that fight, but um, there were some reports saying that like the UFC dissolved that fight because they didn't want to match up two prospects at the time. But
okay.
I don't know how true that really was.
Okay. Oh, either way, synchro. Yeah. I've never been on that boat, so I'll I'll leave it at that. Barton's Packle Crisp is here, one of my favorite names in all of the comments. Hello, I'm not sure if you know about the reporter Aaron Bronson. Of course, Aaron is the man. You know, he's great and I've known him for a good while now. Read his article about what makes a stat card, and it was very well thought. His writing style is unique. Is that something you guys would be interested in reading his work? No, yeah. Yeah, Aaron's the man. He's great. I'm not surprised that it was well written. I don't get to read his stuff too often, but he is one of the best ones out there. If we're going to talk about giving some credit where it is due in the media space on today of all days, definitely follow and support Aaron Bronstetter. He is the man. You agree, right, Alex? Give some love to
Yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Canada.
bro. Yeah, bro. He's the fucking man.
Yes. So, all right, with that in mind, you guys, let's get real into UFC 299 now. Down in Miami is where the festivities are going to be. Going to be a good old time rematch between Sean O'Malley, Marlon Cheeto Vera for the bantamweight title. We got Dustin Poirier, Benoit Saint Denis. Oh my goodness, violence weight battle. Kevin Holland welcoming Michael Venom Page. Dorino is back. Gilbert Burns taking on Jack Della Maddalena. And Peter Yan and Song Yudong. That's only the main card. My goodness. My goodness. To get into this, Alex, I guess let's kind of still use some of our typical questions here, like from the Mania main line and the goods. It can be main event, it can be whatever. But for you, is which fight? Which fight are you most looking forward to? I mean, there's so many to pick from on 299.
I mean, it's the co-main event for me, but I think that we also need to talk about like storylines on this fight. Be like, because really, Peter Yan versus Song Yudong, Curtis Blades versus Jalton Almeida, even Gilbert Burns, like a loss in that fight with some of those fighters means like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really hurts him. Peter Yan loses to Song Yudong. Man, I mean,
Wild. Yeah.
it's insane. Curtis Blades loses to Jalton Almeida. Like that's kiss goodbye to contendership for years, right? And then Gilbert Burns, like, yeah, he's 38 years old. Yeah, he's already fought for a title, but like a loss to Jack Della, he's just going to be basically going to fight all these up and comers for years to come, right? So that's very interesting to me. Also, like, you know, it is MVP's UFC debut, but like if he goes out there and just gets creamed by Kevin Holland, who's, you know, not a title contender,
Right.
not a prospect, he's just the guy in the division. Like, what does that say for MVP, right? So, like, all these storylines are very interesting to me. Now, co-main event: Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. I have been saying it. I am going to hold true. I think Benoit Saint Denis runs through Dustin Poirier.
Oh,
I think he knocks him down either first round, second round, and taps him.
wow. Bold prediction right out the gate.
And I'm holding true to it, man. I think it's an awful matchup. I do understand that Benoit Saint Denis gets hit. He does not have the best head movement, and if you're going against someone who has very good boxing and very good power, like, you know, Poirier is that guy. I just don't know if Poirier is going to be the one to knock out Benoit Saint Denis. Yeah, he could, like, you know, do what he did to Gaethje and kind of just rain it on him. Especially like if the fight goes, you know, 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Poirier's been in 5-round fights. He's been in 5-round wars. Like, that's my only, like, my thought is like how Dustin wins this fight is he wins on points and it goes 5 rounds. But I just don't think it's going to go that far. I think Benoit runs through DP.
So to hone in on this fight, since you got to start on the co-main event, which I do not mind at all. Like, do you think? I mean, it would be probably a good idea for Dustin to try and go a grappling route, but how likely do you think that is? That we can see kind of the game plan, because he's got that in the back pocket. It's a little underrated, his grappling game. You know, we don't see it too often. Or really, when necessary, he hasn't needed to because he can hang on the feet with so many people. And I think he can with Benoit, but in that safety concern, maybe gets clipped and then resorts to it. You just can't see it. What do you think?
I think if he grapples with Benoit Saint-Denis, Benoit Saint-Denis chokes him out. Like I don't think
Either
he
way,
should
it
grapple.
doesn't
No,
matter.
he needs to stay at range, or he just needs to like stay in the pocket and just box this dude up. Like, yeah, I don't think grappling was the best way for DP to win this fight. Yeah, I just don't. I think it's him using his hands.
I think that this fight can, and best case scenario for Dustin, looks similar to the Connor rematch, the second Connor fight, right? Where Connor was competitive first round, but the whole story pretty much of that fight was, Poirier chipping away at his leg a little bit. And then second round comes along, finds a sweet spot. If he can kind of mix it up in that regard and slow down Benoit's movements and, his ability to land on him, fighting from range all at the same time, I could see it looking very similar to that. And that's, I think, best case for Dustin. That doesn't mean, that he's going to end up finding the chin, but I could see it, him implementing that kind of game plan to the best effect if he, wants to get a win here. It's super intriguing though, man. I'm so excited for it. Like it's
Yeah, it is. I kind of see the fight going with like kind of going how DP and Chandler went, right? Like Chandler
yeah,
had him the first round using his grappling and using his power. I kind of see Benoit doing that, except he finishes Dustin. Like that's the route that I see kind of going. But like if Dustin wants to win, he better go the route of UFC 257. Is that when he knocked out Connor? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just think he needs to stay at range, chip this dude right, destroy this guy's leg, and just box him up. Because, yeah, if they go to the ground, Dustin's not going to have the advantage. I believe. I think Benoit's got him covered there. Um, yeah, it's just a tough matchup. It's just a tough matchup for Dustin, and I fucking praise him for like for taking
Yeah,
such a tough one.
yeah.
But I will
High
say,
risk,
like,
low reward.
you know, as much as like I'm so high on this guy, jumping from Matt Frivola to Dustin Poirier
Yes, massive.
is gigantic. And I don't know
Grand
if like
Canyon.
obviously this guy's a war veteran, so I don't know if the pressure is really going to get to him. But like, who fucking knows, dude? Like for Frivola to like if you're standing away across the cage from Dustin Poirier, like that's got to do something to you, right? Like.
Yeah. Yeah, just the visual alone, the moment, all that, the crowd's gonna be nuts in there. Always in Florida. The Florida events are always insane. So it's gonna tell us a lot. We will learn a lot about Benoit Saint Denis, I think, no matter what this weekend. And James making a great point here says, I'm not sure if Dustin is the guy to go grappling. And you saw his fights with Connor and Chandler. It's more he gets there reactively instead of proactively. And even look at the Alvarez fights, right? I mean, that's a great example. And Saint Denis is all chaos like DDP, right? Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair comparison. I mean, they're not like the same fighter, but if you were to make a lightweight version of DDP, I guess they're both pretty wild.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, looking past it, like whatever happens in this fight, the fucking fans are gonna be god awful fucking bitches, bro.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
oh, Dustin's washed, bro. Oh, he's the worst fighter of all time. He lost to fucking a rookie. And then if Benoit Saint loses, oh,
It's a
fucking
joke. Yeah.
project. He's a fucking joke.
This doesn't
Oh,
even apply in that
oh,
situation.
oh.
It's so true. It's so true. Oh man. Rio asking, would you describe Dustin as a glass cannon? No, definitely not. I don't
No.
think he's his chin's that bad
No, me
yet.
too. Yeah, he got head kicked by Justin Gaethje. Fucking
Yep.
Gaethje would have knocked out fucking
Brock Lesnar.
Francis Ngannou with that fucking head kick.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still quite durable. Lock in Jiu-Jitsu, appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. We always like seeing some new names here for sure. Is that all right, Alex? This one's for you. As Jen asked, can you define for the show what fraud checked means? It seems to have different meanings for each person I talk to.
Oh man, it's hard. I feel like I need like a 10-minute dissection of it. I guess just to me, someone who has a bunch of hype, who is
Doesn't live up to it at the
kind of
maybe
yeah,
deliver when expected, maybe.
yeah. I think someone who has a bunch of hype, who it basically just the hype aspect of it is just is kind of what I mag kind of make this the hype and fraud check to kind of like this kind of overlap in my opinion. Like I think the Bonfim fight was kind of a fraud check in my eyes. Not
as good as people made him out to be.
Yeah, not the welterweight Bonfim, but the lightweight Bonfim. Yeah, I will. I that's such like a stupid simple explanation. Like I need more time to kind of like to explain it. But basically, what I see it as is someone who has a bunch of hype, who doesn't live up to it, and got checked with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. I think that's a great way and how I've been interpreting it too as we've been going on here, and typically how it is. So, all right. Well, with that in mind, let's look at the rest of this card, Alex. So, touched on the co-main there.
Might as well just go to the main event real quick, and then we'll
Yes,
go.
yeah. Well, you gave your prediction, of course, for that one. I'm still fairly on the fence about it. As a competitive, I think it will be in fun and chaos. I have to lean towards the better competition aspect, which is clearly not even it's not even a competition of who the better competition belongs to, and that's Dustin Poirier. So I am going to lean towards him, even if Saint-Denis loses, which of course a very real possibility. I don't think it'll be a fraud check. I don't think any of these situations he will still be around for a good while. This is just a big leap for a guy. He's not. It's not a fast track, right? Because he has built to a good spot here, but it's just the jump is real big. Rather than going, if he would have, a normal situation, you would have went like to Dariush, who I think a lot of people expected maybe something more like that, more logical, or it's the gap. I'm just saying the gap for me is I'll be more on board once I see it play out. So after this one, again, we're going to learn so much about where he's at. If he is ready for the elite, this is the tip top of the division without fighting the champion pretty much. But until then, I'm gonna stick to DP. I still think he looked great against Justin. Still, just that head kick was a shotgun blast. So, all right, let's move on to the main event then. I'll say Poirier decision. He's going to take him full way. Just I don't know. I can't make a specific. I'll just say safe with a decision there. Rain says, not an important question. Will O'Malley wear the pink shorts, or is that just a publicity stunt? They look legit. I think. UFC posted that he's probably going to wear them. So that is the news of the day so far.
I like it, bro. I like it, especially like pink and gold instead of like black and gold. Like black and gold be fitting of a champion.
Yes. As Anik likes to tell us every time a title fight happens. They should have some black in there. That'd be kind of cool and Bret Hartish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fucking dope.
Yeah. Jimmy says, speaking of Dariush, on the old Protect Your Neck show, we didn't like him because of his cringe post-fight interviews. Yeah, he's one of the worst on the mic. That's for sure. Maybe the worst, honestly.
I mean,
he's right up there.
He's top 3 for sure. And because of that, he never got a fucking title shot.
Yeah, pretty much shot himself in the foot. But okay, Alex, we have arrived though with O'Malley and Vera 2. I'm still very weird on this one and how it's going to play out. There's obviously the rumor that's been put out there from Aljo this week now. I saw you shared that in our team chat of him saying the camp was bad. Who knows how much he knows, I guess, really. But final read, final feel on the rematch. More of the same of the first time. It's weird to me. How do you feel?
I think Sean O'Malley dominates. I think it's if you watch that first fight, Sean was clearly picking him apart.
Which, to be fair, that's usually the case with Cheeto.
Yeah, well, yeah, 1,000%. I mean, even I mean,
Frankie Edgar was beating him. Frankie was beating him.
Frankie was beating him, and Dom Cruz was beating him
Clearly.
1000%.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think Sean just picks him apart for 5 rounds and wins a 5 round decision. I don't think he's going to be able to knock Cheeto out. I think I don't. I think it looks very closely to the Chris Moutinho fight, just not as
Okay.
not as
Violently
Cheeto looking
beat
as bad
down.
as no, yeah. I don't think Cheeto's going to look as bad as Moutinho did. I think Sean has him covered everywhere. Yeah, that's what how I see. I just don't see a path of how unless Sean O'Malley gasses
Mhm.
horrendously and Cheeto takes over 3, 4, 5. I just don't see a way Cheeto beats Sean O'Malley.
So I do feel pretty similar to that, actually. Like, Cheeto's proven to be incredibly durable, and I don't think he's ever been. Has he been finished at all? I know that he's never been knocked out. Let me look here. I got him up
Yeah,
right here.
I don't know.
Um, yeah, he's only lost by decision. So I mean, the guy has been literally unfinishable to this point. I can't even think of a time he's been rocked, Alex. Like, I mean, the guy is
You'd have to like go back and
Ecuadorian
maybe,
tough.
yeah, you'd have to go back and maybe watch the John Lineker fight. Maybe that was,
Yeah, yeah.
I have no, but
Because he
I
took
don't
some
remember.
fucking bombs in that fight. I do remember that one pretty vividly, and because at the time I was like, why the hell is Vera fighting Lineker? Because at the time the fight made no sense whatsoever. But he was impressive with his toughness, which is never a great thing. But
Yeah,
if you can survive Lineker bombs, then you're pretty goddamn tough, and that was quite a while ago. Yeah. So the interesting thing is though, and why I have such pause about it is because Cheeto is one of those fighters who is typically against this type of guy like Sean is always losing until he has his moment at the very end of the round. We've seen it hurts my soul against Dominic Cruz, against Rob Font, against Frankie. Like this is a reoccurring theme with him. He knows when to go. The recent time that he wasn't able to do that was obviously against Corey Sandhagen, who mixed it up very well with his grappling and kind of prevented it that way. The problem there is Sean O'Malley is not going to do that. That's why I have that reservation of, okay, he's got to survive these moments of serious danger in all ways that Cheeto presents. Because when he has won, like on his come up, not so much in the last fights, aside from Frankie and Dominic Payne, like he can finish and hurt people in a lot of different ways. And I think for him, if he can close the distance and range on Sean and utilize some of those strikes in tight, clinch, get him against the cage and use knees and things in particular, again, try to work the leg like he did the first fight, of course, he's going to be pretty fine. I think it'll be a case where if he wins, most likely going to need a finish. Like he's going to be losing more often than he's winning, right? Like that seems like a pretty safe bet depending on volume because like Sean's not a crazy volume guy except in those situations where a punching bag's coming at him like Chris Moutinho as you mentioned. So I don't necessarily see it looking to that degree of output from O'Malley, but he's going to be the guy initiating mostly with Vera looking to counter until he has his moments of I'm gonna fucking kill this guy now, which is just when he kind of feels like it, typically at the ends of rounds. I'm fascinated to see it play out in that regard because that just seems like a thing that you can just expect to happen unless you stop him by integrating grappling like Sandhagen did and was able to prevent those moments pretty much entirely and make it a typical Cheeto fight without the violence and the damage taken in return. So, and with the 2 extra rounds too, like a thing that will be new for Sean, right? Which I don't think he's going to have a problem with necessarily, but it's more time that he has to avoid those moments. So and we've seen him take shots, and obviously Cheeto finished him the first time he knocked him out, maybe for a brief second, if you remember with the elbow in that fight. But we've seen O'Malley take more damage recently in terms of being hurt. The Peter Yan fight took some good ones there. It's like stylistically very intriguing in that regard. And for me, I have a feeling that he's not going to be able to survive one of those moments. He's going to get caught. I think Sean's going to get caught. late though. I think this will go to maybe 4-3 late though. It's just he has this way, and against a guy like Sean O'Malley, right? Who they have their history. It's just it's gonna be the MMA gods being like, oh, we're fucking up the bantamweight division, ruining everything. And I do think he's gonna go to that leg kick well, because why the hell would he not? Like that's gonna be probably the biggest story of the fight, right, Alex? Would you say the leg kick from if you look at how the first one went?
I mean, yeah, I mean, if he should definitely test it early and see what's up. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe even Cheeto tests Sean's grappling. Like and
Yeah, that
work
wouldn't be a bad
his
idea.
work his grappling. Yeah, I I I hear your points, and you make some good ones. I just don't see Cheeto catching Sean. I don't
Speed's
know.
going to be a big issue for him, I think, specifically in the boxing.
Yeah, no, I don't. I see. I mean, also I think like if there is one person to knock Cheeto out, it could be Sean, bro. Because if
Right.
Sean lands, like he has some stupid power for
And the
bantamweight.
accuracy too,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, really. But I don't think he finishes Cheeto. I think it's a 54, not 50-45. I'll say like
You give him a round.
I give him like 2 rounds, like 2 rounds. I
Okay.
think yeah, 2 rounds. Like I'll say
A,
maybe
a
like
comfy 3-2.
yeah, so like I'll say Sean wins 1, 2, 3, Cheeto wins 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. That does seem
and
fair to
then
me.
and then Sean fights Marab International Fight Week and knocks Marab out.
Oh man, we're getting ahead of ourselves now. I mean, again, as we touched on after Rob's fight too, I am afraid of that as well, because of the fact Rob has been continuing to get clipped in these specific ways. And I mean, fucking those aren't against stocky dudes too. Marlon and Henry.
Yeah, crazy.
So that's a big fear there. But Barton says Joe Rogan on commentary often says he has nerves when there is a title shot. I've never felt that way. Have you guys had that feeling? Definitely in like my peak prime fandom of MMA in high school. I had that for like all the big fights. I'm talking like 2013, as far as I'm concerned, like the best year in MMA history, at least in terms of my fandom for sure. I know some of the ones before that were great, but 2013 was fucking insane all the time. That was when Weidman beat Silva. Plenty of other things happened as well. And then for my favorite fighters too, like that, I'll give you the example. We've talked about Cheeto versus Cruz. That was the last fight I probably felt that, and it wasn't even for a title shot, but that was literally I was slowly getting each round. I ended up sitting down like pretty comfortably, and then I was like pacing by the end of it, and then crying. But yeah, no, I don't. It really depends nowadays. I've seen everything now, and unfortunately, that intensity has lost me a little bit in my aging age. But do you still get nerves for any fights, Alex?
I wouldn't say nerves, but I do get butterflies for like big fights.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I do. I mean, deep down, I'm still a fan, and I feel like the day I stop being a fan is the day I leave this fucking sport.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, for sure. Jimmy asked, do you think that O'Malley has a very minimalistic style? He uses front kicks to tire his opponents. Yes, that's something we didn't mention either. Like he's great at keeping distance with his front kicks, which he should definitely utilize a lot in this one. Stance switch, and then when fighters run at him, he throws the open side counter from the rear side. Contrast that to someone like Corey Sandhagen, who's maximalist, I like that word, and throw a variety of strikes like against Cheeto. Yeah, I mean that's a thing that Cheeto can capitalize on by catching the patterns and figuring out the kind of the pace or whatever. I guess the pattern is still the word I'm looking for here, that O'Malley will apply to him. So
Oh,
that's again
man.
why it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's a great point.
1,000%. I would love to see an O'Malley Sandhagen striking clinic. Oh,
I think we'll get that fight no matter what at some point, whether title or not.
right.
Like
Absolutely.
if he loses this one, let's touch on that briefly. Do they do a fucking trilogy? I really don't. I They better not, but it's very likely, I think.
You
And
mean
if they
if
gave Cody Garbrandt one, then Sean O'Malley's getting one. you know?
you're saying Sean beats Cheeto, do they run back the trilogy?
No, no, no. If oh yeah, well, I mean, No, if that happens, I don't expect it. But even though Sean will be down 2, I still think they would do a trilogy. Is what I'm getting at.
No, I don't
No,
think
you don't
so.
think so because of the first? Okay.
No.
Okay. I guess I'm just feeling that he's spun that narrative enough to be undefeated and all that.
Yeah.
As Ghost says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to Perillo getting mad at Cheeto in the corner when he doesn't do it. Now that will be a sight if it does happen.
What are you doing, brother? Are you awake yet?
Yeah. It's round 4. James says, even in the Vera versus Song fight where Cheeto should have won, but he wasn't active enough to make it convincing. I mean, fight was incredibly close, super competitive, and very entertaining. I think I did edge that one to Song Yudong, but it was give or take. But yeah, I mean, the activity level certainly hurt him in that one to where he could have made it convincing, like you said, because I mean, that was years ago. Look at Song Yudong now. Man, crazy, man. That is crazy to think about with the bantamweights. They're both here now. Whew. I mean, that's a rematch I'd love to see too. Synchro says, say if O'Malley wins, would you guys like to see Sanhagen versus O'Malley, like Jimmy mentioned, a maximalist versus a minimalist?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I mean, that fight again, I think we will get it. It won't be next though. I think feel pretty comfortable about, O'Malley wins, that Marab's the fight. If he loses, then I think that would be the fight to make for sure. Again, I'm still afraid of the trilogy. I am, I am, but we will see. As Barton says, I've heard the phrase from many smart MMA analysts, but the saying fight speed is binary, meaning that when a fighter faces someone, they are either faster or not the fast guy in the matchup. Is that something you guys agree with?
It's like every matchup is different.
Yeah.
It's some matchups speed would win, some with technique would win, some power would win.
Very
It's not.
dependent.
Yeah, 1000%. It's just not one it's not like one rule that speed beats everything.
Yeah. Wow. So UFC 299 is so damn solid, Alex, that I actually didn't realize that Munoz Phillips was on this card. So JS, thank you for tuning in. He's asking thoughts on Pedro Munoz versus Kyler Phillips. How do we feel? Let's talk about some of the other fights, Alex.
Yeah, this one's fucking. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm probably going to give a pick like the day of or the night before. All I'll say is, man, Pedro Munoz is very fucking good, very underrated.
Yep. Still slept on.
Yeah, and Kyler Phillips. I mean, man, he has a win over Song Yudong. It's just he's not as active, so we always forget about him. If I were to say, right now as of 12:40 Tuesday, March 5th, I think I'd say Pedro Munoz by decision, but I'm not confident.
Yeah, I like Pedro in that one too, and mostly because of the fact that he has his jiu-jitsu to fall back on in the case of Phillips trying to wrestle with him. I think on the feet it can be competitive and where he's going to have his best chance, but I can just see if Phillips does go to the ground, he's going to get himself in trouble. So that'll maybe prevent him from doing it. And then if he does do it, he's more fucked than not fucked. You know what I mean? Because people forget that Pedro Munoz is also a goddamn killer on the ground because of just like the latter half of his career here. So
yeah, it's tough. I wish we could give you a better breakdown, but it's just one of those fights where I don't know. I'm going to rely on some analysts on this one because I have no fucking idea.
Good old bantamweight division, baby.
Yeah.
And Jin here saying this card is stacked bangers from top to bottom, and Caitlin Chukagian somehow snuck her way into the card. Actually, Chukagian is gone. It is Caitlin Seminara now. Excuse you, or Keminar, however you pronounce her last name. But yeah, that is. I'm intrigued by that one with Macy Barber for sure, and I've always been.
I'm not be the only one.
Not a staunch Caitlin defender, but not a denier, hater, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
I will give you the last 3 of the main card. I'll just do a quick breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Kevin Holland has good fight IQ, like if he doesn't want to be stupid, like doesn't want to put on a show, I think he could be. I think he has Michael Venom Page covered everywhere. if he goes out there and wants to strike with MVP and put on a
Going
show for
night
the
night.
Miami crowd, Michael Venom Page is going to knock Kevin Holland out. Which so that's like the thing. It's like I don't know which Kevin Holland shows up, you know. So I guess one I'm not going to fucking bet. I'm not going to put wager anything. It's just it's going to be one of one of two ways. And so I'm going to say Kevin Holland plays it safe and maybe takes him down, taps him, something like that. JDM Gilbert Burns. It's another one. If Gilbert Burns wants to strike with JDM, he's going to get torn apart and he's going to get beat up. But if Gilbert Burns does what he did to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, if he does, to Neil Magny, to Jorge Masvidal, Tyron Woodley, if he uses his grappling, he'll beat Jack Della Maddalena. And we've seen it. Obviously, the Basil Hafiz fight was weird circumstances because Jack cut weight twice. He wasn't himself. That was just a weird fight. I think, we've seen enough evidence to say that Gilbert can take Jack down. And I don't know, maybe Jack's been working on his get-ups and his jiu-jitsu and everything like that. I just don't think I think Gilbert Burns is going to win a UD. I think he'll play. Hopefully, he plays it smart and does it if he wants to win. But if he wants to go out there and put on a show for the Miami crowd and go strike with Jack, I think Jack knocks him out. And then the final fight of the main card, the one card that kicks off the main card, Song Peter Yang, bro. Ooh. I don't know how to break this fight down. I don't know what's going to happen. I would have to I honestly don't know. I'm picking Peter Yan because I think he's the better fighter, and I think there's an argument you could say he beat Aljo and he beat Sean O'Malley. The only one he really lost to is Merab. Which is just so crazy because now he's on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
Or 4, 3,
yeah.
3.
Let me see here real quick just to make sure it's 3 or 4, obviously, but it's 3. There was because the Corey win was in between the Sterling fights.
Yeah, just insane. So I don't know, and this is like to really test is Song Yadong really that guy? Because if he goes out there and beats Peter Yan, all right, he's for real. And Song Yadong has been getting good. He's been getting better every single fight, which is scary to say. So I'm sorry, I don't have a good breakdown of this fight. I have no idea how this fight's going to go, and I think I like it that way because I don't have any expectations of it. I'm just going to watch it, and may the best man win. Now, do you agree with any of my takes on those fights?
I agree with pretty much everything you said right there, except I feel pretty solid believing in Song Yadong. Actually, I think that his combination of speed and power will be very big in the striking exchanges. And as Cade, shout out to him, he is here. Mentions Yan has good. Well, which Yan? Oh, Yan, you're talking about. Yan has good takedown defense, so I think he's going to use his counters to win the fight. A great point. And I mean, I don't necessarily think that there will be too much wrestling involved here. And if someone was to initiate it, I would actually think Peter Yan would be the one to maybe do so, maybe later on in the fight. But and obviously Song Yadong's grappling has been improving with alpha male over the years. But I just think, man, he has been one of those very strong cases of, as you mentioned there, every fight he's getting significantly better with each. And that's horrifying for how good he already is. So again, it'll be crazy to see Peter Yan on a 4-fight losing streak, but I'm thinking we're getting it.
Wow.
But the other ones, no, I fully agree. Even though, I guess I think that Holland is not going to fight smart, so I'll disagree with you on that. But
okay.
Especially on this card against this opponent, I mean, maybe because of the Wonder Boy experience he had, but other than that, we know how Kevin Holland is. We shall see. But all right, before we move on to the Oscar portion of the show, Alex, let's give real quick prelim fight that we're most excited for. Let's do that. You mentioned the storyline at heavyweight, which you didn't mention though. I think winner of that probably fights Tom Aspinall. They're probably getting an interim title shot.
I mean, and if Gelatin wins, he could turn around and headline Brazil against Aspinall, right? Like,
Yeah, that might be perfect for what they need. Depending
unfortunately,
on
I don't think it's going to happen because I think Curtis Blades is going to show levels. I just don't see any way Gelatin Almeida beats Curtis Blades. And it's I was looking at the odds yesterday on my app. It was like a pick'em fight, 115 each, which is just fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
And obviously I think people are taking account their last fights. Gelatin dominating Derek Lewis. Maybe they're looking at MMA math. Derek Lewis knocked Curtis Blades out.
Probably.
Curtis Blades got knocked out by Pavlovich. I can guarantee you one thing: Gelatin Almeida is not going to knock Curtis Blades out. So how is he going to take? How is he going to?
You just jinxed it.
Yeah, right. So is Gelatin Almeida going to take Curtis Blades down? Have we seen anyone take Curtis Blades down?
So I legitimately don't think he's ever been taken down. No one's tried.
And Gelatin Almeida is a light heavyweight that doesn't want to cut weight. Curtis Blades is going to be the bigger man, the stronger guy. Curtis Blades is going to win this fight. It's like my most confident pick of the card, I think.
Strong case. So, yeah, and I mean, I will throw out the mention of a fight we haven't even breathed on yet, which is at lightweight, Mateusz Gamrot versus RDA. Like, I don't think this is going to be all that competitive, but I love watching Mateusz Gamrot do work, which I think is what he's going to do for the most part. RDA, like, not washed up or anything, but I think he's gotten to a point of where, all right, we know kind of what to expect from him. He's plateaued and is in strong gatekeeper range or territory, if you will. Just kind of hanging around for he wants his big fights and whatnot, and he's getting one that's a little surprising. I mean, in terms of the rankings and whatnot, but I just love watching Gamrot, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And stylistically, there should be some fun potential for scrambles and whatnot, but yeah, that should be pretty easy work too. For Gamrot.
I will throw this out too. If Benoit Saint-Denis does go out there and run through Dustin Poirier, there's a good chance that he fights Islam Makhachev next for the belt. And they do that fight, either in Newark, New Jersey, or International Fight Week. Because if you think about it, if Islam's going to headline International Fight Week, UFC 300's 2 months before. I doubt Gaethje's going to be cleared in time to do that. And he's always said he wants like 5 month camps. And do you see Sarukian or Oliveira turn around 2 months to fight Islam? Like, who knows if that's the case, right? So there is a realm out there that BSD gets the Islam fight with.
Man, what a turn of events that would be! Holy shit!
Right, which would be fucking crazy because of the 300 kind of matchups right there. Also, you talked about Gamrot. Everyone just forgot about Gamrot.
Poor guy. My goodness, I haven't forgotten Mateusz. Don't worry. But all right, Alvin, our man, is here. Says, I'm excited to speak about the Oscars. There are polarizing opinions on the ceremony, and I'm looking forward to your gentlemen's opinions, which I highly respect. We appreciate you so much, Alvin. I love your interest and enthusiasm in the movie club portion of the show, which we will get to real quick as we get to these comments real fast before we dip into it. But Kate says, Gelatin grappling is elite, but Blades won't get held there like he was able to do to Lewis without landing damage, in my opinion. Yep, I think Alex really nailed that with just some unbeatable points. So applause to you, my friend. And he says, if Gaethje beats Holloway, he has to get a title shot. Yes, agreed. But as Alex laid out there, you never know. This timing is everything. And JS asking, am I crazy to think Poirier gets it done by sub? I wouldn't say crazy, but that's probably the most unlikely outcome, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me look real quick. Last time Poirier got a sub might have been Zombie, right? Is that off the top of your head? Make a guess. Make a prediction. I'm an idiot. It was Chandler. I forgot about that. I just expect Chandler to get knocked out. Before that, let me see. It was probably Pettis. I forgot about that weird body triangle rib injury. So that counted. But before that, it had to be Zombie. I'm going to find this out here. Oh no, he lost that one. My memory is all fucked up. It
Yeah,
was Jonathan
I was like,
Brookins.
what?
You're just letting me. I'm having an off day, you guys. I am feeling better
Fucking,
though as the show's gone on, so
oh, that's
it's
good.
energized me.
February 5th, and Dustin Poirier beat
Yep,
beat
beat
Zombie.
Chan Sung Jung. What a time. On that note, what a perfect segue to the Drelex Movie Club, the Oscar portion of the show. I should have had a little drum roll special music for us here, Alex, or something to put up on the screen, but we do have the Oscar tab here as well. But before we do that, we of course have to review Poor Things, which we both got to this past weekend to wrap it up. Which you guys got to tell you, this will be our last movie for 2 weeks since Alex is going on vacation, so we won't be here next week. So we won't do a movie to talk about this week. We'll re-kick off that portion when he gets back in 2 weeks. And I am still going to look for a guest to have on next week. But in the meantime, let's talk about Poor Things, which was a really grand finale to this whole 10 movie saga that we have had. And I just want to say that I know why Alex loved it so much. He texted me right away, and it's because it's pretty much Edward Scissorhands on steroids. Am I wrong?
I didn't even fucking think about that, but fuck yeah, it is. Honestly, yeah, no, 1000%. Wow, yeah, that's went right over my fucking head.
Yeah, I got you. Also, I
Yeah,
do want to say too, did you ever play BioShock, Alex?
yes,
So this to me felt like very, very BioShock. Felt very BioShock elements to it. Breathtaking world, all of these things. I mean, just here, I'll let you start off with kind of your thoughts on it because it really was an enjoyable one. A lot of unexpectedness, spoilers involved. So this was a very horny movie.
absolutely.
But
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna retract this too real quick, which I think is in my notes. But okay, I concede. I concede. I still think Sandra Huller was great, but she's obviously losing this. Emma Stone. Okay, you win.
yeah,
You win.
yeah.
You deserve it 100%.
Told you, brother. Told you.
Without even seeing it.
Yeah, come on.
As Alvin says,
Um,
yeah, sensational performance for
yeah,
sure.
so I'll just say that I'll keep it kind of brief because we have a lot to talk about. It's it was movie was fucking fantastic, and it performances were great. Emma Stone, I mean, just knocked it out of the park. Mark Ruffalo,
Just so unhinged and unpredictable in the most enjoyable way that I've seen in a long time.
yeah, dude, Mark Ruffalo was such a slime bag, but
It was like not even him. I loved that, you know?
dude, you could tell he was having fun with this role, right? Like
Yes.
it was like Yorgos was like, all right, bro, like go
Fucking
play.
have a ball.
Yeah, this is this is a shit character. Go make it your own. You know, like this
Yes.
is what it was. The thing about the movie is that I really appreciated was just the overall theme about it as how innocence. You know, you're born with
Yeah.
innocence, and within your life, it's you just turn dark. You just turn dark, right? It's
Mhm.
just the world it is. Thankfully, like the innocence kind of comes back around, and like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But
Yep.
like it could have easily just been like an innocent child. Boom! It's just
Right.
dark. Turns dark. And that's what I really appreciated. And it was a really good, just I don't know if it was like the best message, right? Like,
Uh,
like the world, like the world's gonna turn dark on you,
yeah.
right? But
I mean, it was
you
a
know,
very real,
yeah,
holistic, kind of realistic viewpoint of things. And man, I'll fucking tell you that too. Like when what was it? Harry, whatever his name was, um, when he showed her kind of the slums, I got like chills from like just from the beauty of it, but like that whole scene kind of unfolding when she's going to like see the realities of things. I was like, that was a chef's kiss moment for me. I'll hand them out when I can. It was fucking gorgeous and just perfectly done. How she's like, we gotta help them.
it'll do
Yeah.
it, and that's just you know the world in itself. Like you can put yourself in her thing. Like I look at like all these dogs in fucking shelters, or like these dogs being
Mm-hmm.
killed because no one's talking. Like I want to help them. I want to help them. You know, like it's just the same. It's the same shit to me. So yeah, man, I love this movie. Everyone was good. The cinematography. It is one of those movies where like you either accept it, like you're either in for the ride or you're not. Like I could see a lot of movie fans just not liking this movie. Just
A
like
polite society.
yeah, yeah. Just like most of Yorgos fucking movies, like you're either in or you're out. Like it's
The
there's no in
lobster.
between. Yeah, yeah. Like it's yeah, it's you either really like this movie or you really don't like this movie. There's really no in between. Like, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Like I can, yeah, we've talked a lot about with some of these films that we will be ranking here shortly about the pretentious nature of them. There's definitely that with this too, but it's like so well done and fucking just cool. Like, to be honest, it's so like just a tiny things too, Alex. Like the chapter segues were so fucking artsy, like neat,
Yeah.
creatively done. Like, I really just like Yorgos. I think he's a fantastic director. He did a fantastic job with this and utilizes every kind of element of a movie for to match a story so well. Like the sound utilization in this was excellent. Just kind of some of the perspectives, like the little peephole that we'd get like every so often. Like he makes you feel kind of like you're in it too, even if it's not the most relatable story. Because again, there's relatability to this movie, but at the same time, it's weird as fucking not normal. Like it's a completely different kind of viewpoint on the world while still having those elements. Like I said, the polite society and kind of the fuck censorship message, which I really did enjoy, of course. But yeah, just it was a fun time. It was a really fun time, and it's for some specifics too, and the characters I want to mention. Alex, Alfie and the dinner scene with him was excellently tense. My God, I didn't really see that coming for a character that you just meet to have that level of tension. I thought was incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
Right, like
No, yeah.
he was just an instant scumbag, and like that's hard to pull off most of the times, I think. But like you hate this guy right away.
Yeah, 100%. You're like, oh yeah, this I understand why you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was fucking a really great full circle kind of comeback without having really much knowledge about Victoria, right? So all right, with that in mind, ratings, and I'll tell you my problem with this, which is why I'm going a 9 out of 10. I have kind of a nitpick problem with this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a 10 out of 10, bro.
Oh, we
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
Alex's first 10, you guys.
yeah, 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 yeah. This is a 10 out of 10 for this Oscar. Yeah, I
Woo!
loved it. I loved it.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it too. But I will say though, my one problem, um, so Max, I just got to say, was a little weasel simp. I, I liked him in the beginning, but then as he starts becoming a love interest, that didn't. I have issues with these kind of things. If you've noticed about me, like these underdeveloped love interest things. So like the marriage willingness that didn't quite work out for me, and was clearly a vehicle to get to the point of the ending and the wedding ceremony. But here's the problem, though, with that. Spoilers, big time spoilers here, obviously. But Alfie comes in and stops the wedding, right? With Duncan, who had no idea about Victoria. He had no idea that she was a different person. There was no explanation of
Hmm.
how he would, because he came in and he's like clearly the reason he's going to ruin things because she fucking ruined his life. But I was like, okay, well, I had to go back. Actually, I went back to the beginning when he starts with the legal letter and stuff with God, and I was like, he didn't say that. He didn't tell him the truth behind her. So I
Hmm.
was like,
That's
plot
actually
hole.
very good. Yeah, that's a very
Yeah,
good plot hole. Interesting.
yeah. But if you can get over, it's still great. It's still great, but that was my knock to keep it from a 10, because really this was this movie was right up my alley too. And again, Emma Stone, seriously, just one of the best performances. Again, I mean, it's like to see where she came from. You look at Superbad, and then to be here and her fucking deliveries, the straightforwardness was this hilarious? Like, yeah, this we didn't even really say how funny this fucking movie is, too, man.
Yeah,
Like, it is
it's clever.
hilarious.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of creativity. It was great. Yeah, as Alvin
We,
says, well
we have
executed.
a second Bella Baxter right here.
A second Bella Baxter. God, what a fucking character. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to rewatching this one because I definitely will at some point. But all right, with that, Alex, let's get to it. Let's rank these bad boys, and I am very excited. I haven't seen your list. I'm excited to see what how much of ours coincide with each other. I feel pretty comfortable about 10 and 9. So, you want me to go first? Do you want you to go first? I'll pull it up. I think you should be able to share a screen too, and I can pull it up maybe on like on a notepad for you. But or
Um,
let me see here. I think that should be doable. Going on the fly. Get mine in the notes here. I'll start off since I have mine ready. That work?
I
Okay.
can put it. I mean, how can I send it to you?
I think if you can share screen, yeah, notepad looks like it should work. So
Okay.
okay. But before you well, I guess you can put
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
yeah, in the present.
Easiest sharing. Share screen. Select window. Oh, right here.
Okay.
Open.
We will start out with
That
mine.
doesn't.
Or if you can just send it to me and I'll put it in one. Put it in the private chat. Put it in the private chat and I will put it onto my notepad afterward. But
Yeah.
all right, we are going to rank our top 10 best picture nominees now. And before I show my list here, you guys, I was telling Alex, like, man, the top like 4, 5 ish range, I struggled with a lot. It was pretty tough. And this was before I watched Poor Things. Then I had to throw it in there. So I was like, boy, and which felt kind of weird as we were going through because, you know, some of these we were questioning what they were doing here, all that stuff. And I will say, if you've been paying attention closely, like Alvin has and whatnot, my favorites or rankings, the scores I've given out are not going to quite line up here because it's kind of like a combination of my favorites with best. Like some I might not have ranked necessarily higher in terms of their rating, like the 10 out of 10 or whatnot, but I still have to like agree that maybe the movie's better, but in terms of mine, if that makes sense. So don't be confused by that when you see my list right here. But okay, let's kick it off. Where is it? Here it is. So at number 10, we have Maestro, which I think was a no-brainer. I'm sure Alex is going to have it at his as well. Then I got The Zone of Interest, Killers of the Flower Moon at 8, Past Lives at 7, Barbie at 6, American Fiction at 5, Anatomy of a Fall at 4, Poor Things at 3, The Holdovers at 2, and Oppenheimer, which is the most likely winner. The odds on favorite, actually, I was looking at the odds, Alex, because they have odds for the Oscars. And
Yeah.
Oppenheimer is in the lead to win, and I have to agree with that. But a little brief summary, I guess, of my choices here. I'm sure you're surprised, or Killers of the Flower Moon being so surprised to some people, for sure. And I mean, we've already talked about all these, so I don't know how much detail I want to go into. But for me, I got Past Lives above this because I think I took more away from that just in terms of feeling like I learned something of personal value, which I know Alex definitely is going to have his order different there. And I like laughing and having a good time. So Barbie made me feel a lot better. Killers of the Flower Moon, American Fiction, one of my new all-time favorites, which again, like one of my all-time favorites, which I would say over Anatomy of a Fall isn't one of my all-time favorites, but I think is just a better movie for the reasons I touched on when we talked about it. Holdovers, I just fucking loved too. I think it had everything. A phenomenal Christmas movie, a feel-good movie, even though Alexander Payne disagrees with that and hates when people say it. Great performances all around, just a good time and a unique kind of story that I haven't seen before told with the holdover element. And then Oppenheimer is just like, it was like, you can't, I feel like it's hard to go against, you know, it's based on something real. It was executed incredibly like Christopher fucking Nolan. I mean, what more you need to say? Just if you haven't seen it, it's an experience, especially in theater. If you missed it in theater, then you missed out big time. But having seen it there, I think really helped because that was actually the only one of these I saw in theater, Alex. So that's kind of cheating, but
Yeah.
that gives an edge. Would you agree? Theater
Oh yeah.
experiences?
Oh yeah. 1000%. It's that's why it's we're going the way of like theaters are going to be extinct here pretty soon, and it's just so sad because like going to seeing a movie in a movie theater intensifies it all.
Yes.
It's so it
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, like man, I remember. Shout out to one of my also favorite all time movies, maybe the fucking best movie I've ever seen. Everything, all, everywhere, everything, all at once. Seeing that in theater was so fun, so fun. I love that one. But all right, let's pull up Alex's now. I'm excited to see what he's got. I'll put it. Let's see. Should be able to fit right below mine here. Type in Alex's
Like
right
like
there.
the fucking paste kind of fucked it up. Maybe I can paste it in Slack and then you can do it the right way.
Is this is it's 1 to 10?
1 to 10, yeah.
Okay, pretty safe to assume considering what it is. Here, I'll fix it. I'll do it fine here. Don't worry. So,
I,
all
I, I
right.
just I just put it in Slack if you want to copy and paste
Oh,
it.
it worked
Oh,
fine.
worked.
There we
Perfect. All
are.
right.
Take it away.
All right. Yeah. So, Maestro, Zone of Interest, Past Lives, um, Anatomy of a Fall. I mean, okay, I'll say Maestro, Zone of Interest, Past Lives. Already forgotten about those movies. I will never think of them, talk about them ever again. It is what it is. It's tough, right? For 1 and 2, it's recency bias and um, maybe even favorite versus best films because I think Oppenheimer is the better film by
Right.
far. But I think I enjoyed Poor Things a little bit better. Also, saying that I watched it last Monday, so it's more fresh in my mind.
Right.
So recency bias definitely comes into this decision. But if I were to flip by Oscars on Sunday, I could probably flip 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how
Yeah.
fluent those two are. Um, and the rest of them, Holdovers was just a delight. I really enjoyed it.
We had the same top three, just different
Yeah,
order.
yeah, 1000%. Killers of the Flower Moon. I've seen it a lot lower on a lot of people's lists, and I think it was an epic movie, and I'm all for epic movies. And it's just a very like I still think about just how dirty the movie made me feel. And I think that's why it's kind of so high on me because I still think about it, and it still hits me. And then Barbie, just I think number 5 makes sense because it's just a good movie. It's just
Yeah.
like like it's
Quality
just
comedy.
yeah, 1000%. It was quality, and the even a Barbie movie being nominated for Best Picture is
Insane.
just saying that's insane. And yeah, so American Fiction, I wanted to like it more than I did, but it is what it is, and yeah, nice talk. It is what it is.
This is fascinating though because really for the most part we're in agreement, like for the most part aside from our killers and anatomy placement here. It's kind of backwards.
Yeah.
But everything else is like pretty close. Like yeah, I felt American Fiction and Barbie were pretty in the middle there. Um and I don't know if this is more of like aside from those two that I mentioned are backwards, like more of a testament to us being on the same page or like fucking the Oscar picks, like I think a little of both, there is pretty easy
Well,
to say what was better.
yeah. I mean, funny enough, like I was actually going through a lot of people's lists, and then I was talking with a couple of UFC employees, people that are movie people, and Past Lives were their number one, and a lot of
Mm,
people's like Past Lives are like top three. So I think it just movies are so subjective, and they hit you differently.
yeah.
That's what it all comes down to, in the real realm of it all, right? It's how a
Mhm.
movie affects you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's literally the reason Past Lives is above Killers for me. Like I initially I had it the same there with the bottom three, and like that felt like a no brainer. But then I was like, I thinking about it, and just I've taken that one's touched me a little bit personally.
Yeah,
So yeah, but I'm impressed with us. I'm very proud of us, Alex, for being pretty much the same because I really I didn't want to give Oppenheimer number one, but I thought about it. And I was just like, it's just objectively, I think, better than
yeah,
Holdover specifically. Which again, that knock that I mentioned for Poor Things is why it's comfortably, solidly in three, but between one and two was where I was having my issues.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
Objectively, Oppenheimer is the best movie of the year, by far.
yeah.
Epic story, visually, it's just it is. It's there's no going against it.
All right, so that's a perfect way. You got our prediction out of the way for what will be the best picture. We will get to the other ones here in a moment. Real quick though, Alvin says, "I believe that the Oscars are a celebration of the best works in cinematography, highlighting those who work hard to tell amazing stories." Indeed. And he says, these are fantastic lists. Mr. Riggs and Mr. Behune, in the fall of movie theaters will be sad for me since they represent an era of cinematography where people can assemble and enjoy magic. Definitely agree with that. I don't think they'll ever go away 100%, Alex, but obviously they've become a dying breed with streaming and all that stuff. There's still nothing like seeing something like Oppenheimer in the theater. Like the bomb scene, one of the most incredible things I've fucking ever seen on a screen. Like just breathtaking. But all right, let's make our picks. We won't spend too much time on these, kind of breeze through them because some of them I think are pretty darn easy. So we'll start off from top to bottom here on the official Oscar website. But actor in a leading role, we have Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, Jeffrey Wright. So expectation, let's do what we would say and then expectation, Alex, because two-man race in this one, right? It's between Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy. I think for me, I got to go Paul. He was just excellent. And I mean, I'm not mad at either, but I give him the slight edge. I
Yeah,
think for both, for my personal pick, and then I expect him to win too.
yeah. I think I want Cillian Murphy to win, but I think Paul Giamatti is going to win, and I say that because I think Paul is going to get obviously his performance for Holdovers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to be a lifetime achievement award,
Right.
and they usually do that at the Oscars sometimes, even though they don't like to admit it.
Yeah.
They do that sometimes.
I mean, shit, that felt like Jamie Lee Curtis winning supporting actress. As much as I love Everything Everywhere All at Once,
1000%.
that was a head scratcher.
1000%.
So there we go. In a supporting role. Ooh, this is a tough one though, Alex. This is the fucking one of the toughest categories. We got Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction as Cliff, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, my God, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling in Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. Like, holy fuck, dude. Those were all bangers.
Yeah.
They were all
Yeah.
bangers. Jesus Christ. You go first. This is so tough for me.
I'm pretty confident Robert Downey Jr. is gonna win.
Uh-huh.
But
But
man,
who your pick, your personal pick. Like those are all in different ways too, like
man, if I think my personal pick, I think I'd go Mark Ruffalo just because of just how
he felt like a different guy, a different
one
person.
thousand percent, 1000%, and like yeah, just like a character we've never seen from him. But dude, like Robert De Niro was such a fucking
Oh,
just god awful. Ryan Gosling was probably the best part of Barbie.
yes,
And then
100%.
Sterling K. Brown was fucking fantastic in American.
Yes.
Like that was like, I feel like he was the best part of American
Right.
Fiction too. So like, yeah, it's such a banger category. But I'm very confident Robert Downey Jr. is going to win.
Yes, I think he will get the win. And for me, if I was to submit a vote, I might give it to him as well. Like this is I'm really not gonna be mad at any. I really thought they were all just fucking phenomenal. And like even when we broke down all these movies, I mentioned like all these guys as like highlights. So shit. I don't know. I think personally, I would like to. It would be fun for me to see Sterling K. Brown get it, but again, this is just such a tough one. I'll say Robert for personal and predicted because yeah, he fucking was sensational too. All right, actress in a leading role. I think we are gonna both double up on Emma Stone in this one. I still got to give love to Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall. And I mean, Annette Bening and I didn't see that one. It wasn't a nominee. We only watched the Best Picture nominees. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon was also excellent. Carey Mulligan and Maestro, probably the best part of Maestro. But yeah, this for me is clearly between Sandra and Emma Stone won me over with it. So
Yeah, I think Emma Stone. It for me is Emma Stone, but I think the dark horse is Lily Gladstone, and
yeah,
I think if there's going to be someone to pull the upset, it's going to be her. And I think there's a very good chance that she might do it.
damn.
Yeah, this is like it's yeah. I
That would be
but like
so nuts because you think about how I mean, Emma Stone literally put it all out there. she fucking she and she's undeniable now as far as I'm concerned, but man, that'd be nuts.
I mean it is like but like it could be also the Oscars and all the voters being like, do we give it to Emma Stone a second win, or do we go woke and do we give someone who's
yeah.
like
Right.
not a white girl,
Yeah, right. I mean,
like
hey, if we're doing what was the best though. And yes,
yeah,
Ghost, great point. Drake saying double up on Emma Stone can be clipped and taken the wrong way. Yeah, especially for the role we're talking about.
yeah,
She was a literal prostitute at one point.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. But phenomenal. All right, then actress in a supporting role. This is an interesting one, Alex. We got Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, Devine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. For me, this is I didn't see Nyad or The Color Purple, but did see Barbie, of course. Between Emily Blunt and Devine, and I have to go with Devine Joy Randolph because I feel like Emily Blunt, if you were to compare both of them, was in Oppenheimer less than Devine was in The Holdovers. So just in terms of screen time, I think she gets an edge there. But of course, Oppenheimer was longer, so it's probably about the same just in terms of how it felt. But performance-wise, I think she was just better anyway. So for me, I think last I checked, she was the odds favorite. So I'm expecting her to win, and I think she gets my pick as well.
Yeah, she's a minus 3,300 favorite.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's Randolph for sure. I did watch Nyad. Jodie Foster was fantastic, but I think it's Randolph for sure.
Okay. Yes, I mean Jodie. I'm in anything she does, you can just expect some good stuff. Even in Hotel of what Artemis, right? Was that what that
Yeah,
movie was?
yep,
I
yep,
liked it. That was a fun one.
yep.
We will skip past animated feature film. I don't think we saw it. I really wanted to see The Boy and the Heron, but I never got around to it yet. I heard the Spider-Man movie was good, but yeah, I never saw that. Cinematography, we got El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro,
Oppenheimer, baby.
Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Yep, that's easy, no brainer there. Costume design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Costume design. So this is between Poor Things and Barbie, right?
Yeah, I
I
I'd
mean,
probably go Poor
all the
Things.
all the all the outfits that Bella wore throughout the movie were very extravagant. Um, yeah, I think I'd go Poor Things there too. Directing, not no, this
It's
is yeah,
tough.
directing. We got Anatomy of a Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, I mean, Justine Treat, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos,
I think
Poor
it's
Things, Jonathan
Christopher
Glazer.
Nolan gets his first Oscar.
Yeah, he'll get it, and he deserves it too. That will be the
Yeah,
pick. Even though Yorgos, again, as we just praised him in the review, fucking love that guy. He's so great. He's just too tough a competition there, you
yeah.
know. And again, Martin Scorsese also like fucking two hitters there. Jonathan Glazer can get out of here. And then even as much as even though I gave Anatomy of a Fall a 10 out of 10, Like I don't think it was phenomenally directed, really. Like comparatively to these, but yeah.
I mean,
Documentary.
if we're being honest, Jonathan Glazer could get the fuck out of there, and the director of Barbie, she,
Yes, get Greta Gerwig in there
yeah,
for sure.
1000%.
Alvin saying, I think an underrated choice would be Miss Jodie Foster. Yes, yes, yes. She's always a good one. Documentary films, never saw any of these. Did you, Alex?
No,
No,
not yet.
probably not. Documentary short films, we'll skip that one too. Film editing, Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Probably Poor Things on that one too.
I'm gonna go Oppenheimer.
Yeah, but it's between those again.
Yeah.
In terms of like the visuals, those are going to be the top ones. And so this is funny, Alex. So we can touch on this real quick, but international feature film, Zone of Interest is nominated here too, which is like I think
Zone of Interest is gonna win, but I've heard
why
Society.
didn't you just leave it in,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
take it out of the best picture and have it here?
1000%.
Yeah. And I did watch Chris Stuckman's review before we went on here of Perfect Days, and I'm a little bit intrigued by it. So we'll see if I get around to that. Makeup and hairstyling.
Poor Things.
I'm gonna give that one to Maestro actually, just because of Bradley Cooper. That's the only thing I'll give Maestro. The makeup was actually amazing on him. So
That's funny.
Maestro for me for sure on that one. Music, original score. This is a good category. American Fiction. Indiana Jones gets a nominee. The Dial of Destiny. That's all it'll ever get. Killers of the Flower Moon. Oppenheimer. Poor Things. Man.
It's between Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon for me. I think
Mm-hmm.
they both had fantastic score. I'd probably go Poor Things.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, yep. And in terms of, I mean, I don't really know prediction. I don't remember the odds on that, but yeah, I agree. Poor Thing's great. And then original song, Alex. We had some original songs here. The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot. I'm not sure what. Oh, that's the movie. It's Flamin' Hot. I'm Just Ken from Barbie. It Never Went Away from American Symphony. We never saw those. Wahazahi from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. I'm Just Ken was a fun song.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that one.
yeah. Fuck it.
And then here we are at Best Picture, which we already have just done. Well, yeah, we're expecting Oppenheimer, and then yeah, Poor Things is Alex's number one. Production design.
Go to adapted screenplay and screenplay.
Okay, animated short film, live action short film, sound. Well, overall sound here. We got the creator in here, which I know you love that movie.
I
Happy
did.
to see that.
Yeah, 1000%. It's a fantastic. I'd probably still go Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
It's gonna clean up.
Visual effects. That's a good creator. Got that one too. Godzilla -1. Yeah. Guardians 3, Mission Impossible, and Napoleon. So this is a little bit of a unique category.
I had not seen Godzilla -1, which is I'm very not happy about that. But I have seen the creator, and what they did in that movie
is insane.
Is it fucking insane, especially with the budget they had.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we will leave it there. Writing adapted screenplay. This is what you were saying. We got American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Zone of Interest. That is kind of wild that is nominated for best for writing, but I think this is a pretty easy Poor Things one. Well, I don't know, maybe not pretty easy, but that's what jumped right to mind. Just because of like, if you've the way that it is kind of structured and a little old timey with the way they talk and the deliveries and stuff. I don't know, what were you thinking when we came here?
Man, I think Poor Things.
Even though American Fiction, obviously, I loved and was great.
Yeah, it's Poor Things, and it's between Poor Things and Oppenheimer. I'd probably go Poor Things because I think Oppenheimer's going to get Best Picture, so they might split it.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Most likely, they will be the top two movie winners, right? That's looking pretty safe to say. Writing original screenplay, though,
Even
we get
though American Fiction is the favorite to win that.
okay, yeah. Not mad at that either. Again, it was I mean, it's a movie about writing, so I'm not mad at that. We got Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Maestro, May, December, and Past Lives for the original screenplay. I'm gonna give it to Anatomy of a Fall on that one. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It was original and it was
Mhm.
very well thought out, the story and everything.
Yeah,
Even though I think Holdovers, Past Lives was very good too. Like that was like the story aspect of
true,
it.
very true. Yeah,
Um, but I think I'd go Anatomy of a Fall.
yes. Right on. And that wraps it up there. So how many categories do we even have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 categories. My goodness. I think we can easily agree supporting role is the toughest one, Alex. My God. That's just, I can't get over that again looking at it. No, no easy.
Robert Downey Jr. is a minus 4,000 favorite.
Wow, that big of a lead. Crazy, crazy stuff. But all right. I mean, all in all, Alex, Oscars 2024. I think I enjoyed the stretch more than I didn't like it. Again, the top 5, 6 for each of us. I mean, even let's see, the bottom two are the ones I really didn't have much
Yeah.
fun with. Pretty much or just enjoy watching. Zone of Interest and Maestro were just like, yeah, you know, they're there. Other than that, though, there was something to take away from everything else. I thought so.
Yeah, for a best picture rewatch or watch, I think we had some pretty good ones. Expecting if you like go back throughout the years, comparatively.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the gems are really the gems when they're going to be remembered.
Yes, absolutely. So, all right, you guys, that will be on Sunday when the actual ceremony and show is, so you can tune
I'm
in
gonna
or
I'm gonna be on a fucking ship, so I won't even know the
yellow
results.
ship. I'll have to text you
Yeah,
to let you know what is happening. But yes, you guys, if you want to watch along, see who all wins and all that, and let us know who you think or what your lists were for however movies, however many that you saw of the best pictures in the comments and whatnot. That's always fun to do. But all right, before we wrap up, we will breeze through with our Q&A portion here at the end of the show, Alex. Starting off here from James from earlier says he was in an argument with a guy on X. Can we discuss this? Pirating UFC pay-per-views is not why fighters are underpaid. I thought it was very simple, but UFC low-pay simps have made an argument for that, which I don't understand. They love the sport since they talk about it on platforms, yet they want fighters to stay poor and want the UFC to do very well. To do well, very odd behavior. Yes. Yes.
people defending fighter pay are just weirdos. That just is what it is. Like you don't have to be like for you don't have to be for or against it, but defending it is just weirdos. Just like
Yeah,
yeah,
which happens just so regularly.
it's very fucking odd, very odd.
Yeah, indeed. You got to think they got on the payroll or something. But
Like go touch some grass, bro.
some grass, pal. James also saying, I think Team Alpha Male has horrendous game planning. Do you agree? It's all about toughness with them and not about smarts. I mean, historically, I'm always going to agree with that as a Cruise Alliance guy. But I think they've gotten better recently. Maybe it's
With Faber and Danny Castillo is like game planners, 1,000%.
yeah, for sure. As Barton here says, very hard question. How do I develop good, respectable takes in MMA? As I told Drake last year, I'm a new fan, so I try to avoid making great statements and uneducated, silly statements. But I'm afraid of being ridiculed for my lack of knowledge. See, that just shows you how sad and toxic the community is. Alex, poor Barton here can't even express himself.
Yeah, that's fucking tough. Yeah, bro. I mean, you just have to throw some takes out there and just go, just roll with it.
You got to take from other people, even, make sure that it's not degrading you and stuff like that, because you don't want to be around that. But
yeah. The only other thing is like go back and like watch some older fights, kind of respect the history of the sport, because I think that's one of the biggest things of these stupid fucking takes nowadays is people don't know the history
Yes.
and they only have been watching since 2020, so they don't know anything past that. And they like say, "Oh, all the fights are on UFC Fight Pass. I can go back and rewatch them." Yeah, it's like, no, bro. Like, yeah, I understand that, but
I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't remember if I said it on our show here whenever the week was, but when I didn't accidentally, but I saw that one of those very popular YouTubers right now, MMA YouTuber guys, was doing a live stream, and I clicked onto it less than a minute. Less than a minute, he was talking about how like Anderson Silva is like barely top 3, and like Dan Henderson wasn't even that good, and I'm like, what?
yeah,
What is happening here?
yeah,
So
get the
avoid
fuck
that
out of here.
garbage, Barton. That's my
Yeah,
recommendation because those fucking clowns don't know shit about dick.
yeah,
So
it's bad.
it's kind of crazy. And I'm sure people will love that metaphor I just used. Um,
Don't know shit about dick.
yeah.
That's good.
Jimmy says, "What's your opinion on Chris Weidman? I'm at an impasse. On one hand, I think he should retire because he's a shell of his former self, who was a great technician. But the other hand, after seeing Boston disclosing the payouts for 292, which I know are real since it was reported by Junkie and MMA Fighting, he gets paid the price of a house." um, I mean, well, I think honestly, the whole thing with Weidman has been that he just doesn't want to go out on a loss. He's just kind of fighting to get a win, pretty much. So like, I think once he gets that, he's going to be done. So
Hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, he should be. And I mean, honestly, like he put up a very admirable performance against Brad, like on one leg, pretty much. Like he was tagging him a couple of times there, but just was way too compromised. So hopefully, and I mean logically, this next one, location wise, all that makes perfect sense. So
If you can't beat Bruno Silva, maybe it is time to
I mean, yeah.
call it a career.
Yes, yes. Rain says, "How do you like this pun? The Sean O'Malley of attending a Trump rally. It's a pun, all right."
Hardy har har har.
It flows together. Right. It says, "But everyone knows my goated pun is the James Cross of betting the house and undoing Sanko's." That's just rhyming. I don't know if those are puns
Bravo,
anymore.
bravo.
You're just a poet, Rain. But okay, last one here to wrap us up is Jersey Lee. Always some good comments from him. What are some other shows you would recommend for MMA content during UFC pay-per-views? I want to be as focused on the fights themselves and stay away from outside the cage drama. So I'm a little bit confused in terms of specifically what Jersey is looking for here, but
During UFC pay-per-views?
yeah, like during the fight, if you mean like some fight companion type things, really the best one that I know of right now is just we got the watch party over at MMA Fighting. They do the main cards though for pay-per-views, but a lot of people I don't think do fight companions for pay-per-view events because
Yeah, I'd
yeah,
say focus on the fights, bro.
yeah, just watch them. You can mute them if you want. That'll help you keep away from any drama. But yeah, if you limit your stuff, your intake and your content, Jersey, then that'll help for sure. So kind of funny.
Not fight companions, but pre-fight
Ah,
shows.
okay, that narrows it down better. Right here, you're at Sound and Pound, baby. We got you covered
We got
every
you, bro.
Tuesday.
We got you, bro.
Yeah, pre-fight shows. I don't know
I
any.
I don't really watch them myself, but I mean, honestly, if you want good, like, I'd say go watch fighter stuff, like fighters
Right.
breakdown, like DJ. I know Joe Pfeiffer and Sean Brady, like
Dan
they
Hardy's good
do.
at
Yeah,
previewing them.
yeah. I'd say stick with that stuff because at least they know what the fuck they're talking about most of the time because they're
Yeah,
fighters, you know.
yeah.
Even though sometimes they're incredibly biased because they're friends of fighters and stuff, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, yeah, check
And
those things out, Jersey.
and Santa Pound, like just stick with
And
us,
just
bro.
stick
We
with
got you.
Soundfire. We're all you need. We're all you
Yeah,
need.
you have two dumbasses talking, bro. It's just
What more could you ask for?
yeah, bro.
Look
You
at
don't need
these
much.
faces.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on.
And on that note, we won't see these dumbasses together until 2 weeks from now. So this has been another installment of Stand Up on our big 299 Oscar special. That was a good old time. It's gonna be weird going back to just random movies now, Alex. Maybe we can set a theme of some kind of thing, but I think it'll be good. It'll be good to go back to the format. But on that note, everybody, yes, of course, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live, even though it's the same time every Tuesday. Next week, I'll try to get a special guest on. Shouldn't be too hard, but yes, Alex will be enjoying himself as he can get away from the monotony of the sport. I'm jealous. I fucking need a vacation too, especially as it's cold as shit here. So I mean, I guess I kind of get a small one going to Vegas to watch his dogs. So
yeah, very good.
Still work and cover Taipura versus Tuivasa. So, but in the meantime, Alex, any shameless plugs before we get out of here, and before you're off on your way?
Yeah, just my tidbits this week. I think it's going to be a big list. So that's all I'm really doing. And wish me well in Mexico because I'm going to hopefully have a good time.
Yeah, don't say it so concernedly.
I am going to have a good time.
Yes, there you go. Perfect. But all right, then as for me, you guys got some interviews out recently. Finally released that one with Five Finger Death Punch guitarist and founder Zoltan Bathory, who is also a part of PGF, one of the teams. Can't wait for that tournament coming up next month. If you haven't read about it, check it out at MMA Mania. We got all the details in an hour with Zoltan. Great guy, childhood hero of mine. Just a dream come true. Also spoke with the Cannon, Shannon Briggs. It was the Riggs and Briggs connection. That was a fun time chatting with him as he gets ready for his, expected boxing match with Rampage Jackson. If you've been following along with that developing story on my Twitter, it's a little interesting looking right now. But there's that. And then just before getting on here, actually caught up with Bellator middleweight Fabian Edwards, who gets ready to take on Aaron Jeffrey at Bellator 302. That will be releasing next week. And then if you're into music and whatnot, I'm going to shameless plug my own personal channel as I've been doing some music interviews with local bands here in Portland. So those are fun, getting to know and talk to those guys and watch them perform before chatting with them. So I'm going to plug that too. But on that note, other things always being worked on. Until next week, you guys, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed our special today. And we will see you together both once again next week. And UFC Alien, you're late. What's good? Thanks for popping in. We will see you. We're wrapping up. So stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Peace.